we are. Healing Conversations. Test, test, test. Um, we're gonna see. Waiting for Brother Raymel to get in here. But until then, I'm going to pause the mic. Actually, I'm gonna check this audio real fast to make sure that it is picking up the vibes. Let's see here. We'll do this thing later. I'll be sitting like here. And about right now, we sitting like there. Um, these pieces. Okay. Such account. Let's see here. Don't care. Share. Oh, wait, no, this is on my channel. Silly. Okay. Just, oh, I guess this isn't public, so let's change that so I can see myself. Public. Done. Save. Okay. No thanks. Okay. For sure. Can I hear me? Oh, did I get here myself? Cool. And I think we can even bring this in a little bit. Here comes Raymel. And we're going to turn this back on to private. Okay, hello. All right, YouTube, we're getting started. Checking connection. We're live.
Hello, Instagram family.
Hi.
Happy
Happy
Saturday.
Saturday.
Welcome. You know the vibe, Instagram. Let the tribe know, let the people know.
Yes, because
We are
we
live, we are
got
here,
a
and we got a juicy
conversation
conversation.
today.
Come on in, y'all. Come on in. Happy
Hello.
Saturday. Welcome to Healing Conversation. This is the
Yes.
space that we talk all things healing, all things expansion and growth. And I always started with saying that I believe that as we take the time to individually heal ourselves, we support the collective healing of the world.
Yes. And I'm Angelique. If you don't know, I'm just really grateful that we have been sharing this space with one another and how it's been helping me. And I haven't said this in a little minute, but if you are someone who wants to create a healing ripple in your zip code, your neighborhood, your block, whatever, definitely take the time to build a community space. You know, Ramel and I have been on this journey for some years now. We have some insights and some experiences, but we are not the gurus or the know it alls or the only people who have the power to hold space and help people transform. So, if
Mm-mm.
that's something that you're interested in, do it, do it, do it. But
Welcome,
yes,
everyone. Come on in. Say where you from, what city, what
yes,
state, what region. Let us know. And we
let's.
like this to be interactive. So if something that we are talking about, it resonates or it lands for you and you want to either inquire about support or have some gems to add to the conversation, leave them in the comments or come and join the virtual stage because we like that interaction, that audience participation.
Yes.
All right, so let's just dive into the conversation. So today we are going to be talking
Hey,
about, hey, Sister
Sarah.
Sarah, knowing when something has run its course.
Mhm.
And whew, I feel like this is going to resonate with a lot of people because this
Yes.
is something that I am currently just any experience of, and I won't go too in depth because I don't want to put nobody
Yes.
business out, but I have a situation that I'm currently experiencing where I have someone who has that I've known for like a good portion of my life. We've known each other since we were teenagers, so that's like a lot of time.
Mm.
And when we met, like we were part of a pack. We would hang out together, go out together, just be always together. And time passes and life happens, and we just start to dwindle off. But the love is still there. We're still friends. We're someone I still hold near and dear to me, but we're just not where we were.
Mm.
And I noticed that this person, whenever like they will have a birthday, everyone wants to put something together and they want you to come and join the festivities. And I noticed that I would try to not try, I would actually make time and space and go into celebrate them. But then I realized 2 years ago, well, yeah, 2 years ago when I had my 40th, that I normally don't do much for my birthday, or if I do, it's just more low key. But when I did have something, I'm like, okay, let me send out invites to the people who I would like to be there and celebrate with me. And I invited them, and they didn't come. And I won't say it like was something that stung me, but it was just something that brought awareness to me. Like, oh, we're not priorities in each other's lives.
Mm.
Where we were when we first started this journey and we were connected is not where we presently are. And I noticed that they have like whenever they have just something coming up, I always will get an invitation, not via them, but through mutual friends.
Mm.
And then I find myself in a sense feeling obligated, like I should go because of our history. I should go because of the timeline of how long we known each other and just in a sense the expectancy to be present at their events. But then if I'm being honest and if I'm truly honoring myself, I'm not excited. I'm not pulled. I'm not like, oh, I gotta go. It's like, oh, I have to go
Mm.
because of the history. And we recently had a friend pass away that we all mutually know and we grew up with, who passed away in July. So then there's that guilt that's coming up of like, well, if I don't go, I love how we pause. If I don't go, then what if something happens? Then I'll miss the opportunity to connect with them or see them or be with them. And when I release those thoughts, release those stories, release that pressure, I can get to the truth of right now. This ain't something that's in alignment with you. And as I said earlier, where you were when you guys first started this journey is not where you presently are.
Mhm.
And that's okay. And I feel like at times we have a tendency to feel like we have to keep old relationships alive or keep things alive because of the history. But when you really get to the depths of like, is this really in alignment with where I'm at now? Are we priorities in each other's life? Do we actively communicate? Like, and not saying that you have to talk daily, but is this someone that I feel called to support in a way that I feel supported by them? And a lot of times we don't, but a lot of times we just stay in situations, whatever realm they may be, just because of the obligation. So that's where I'll end it right now.
Yes. Oof, how many? How many of us have felt guilted by obligations? How many of us have felt guilted by history or blood relationships? You know, the other week we were talking about family. And when you grow up with people, when we have such a long shared history with people, they feel like family. And when we don't have like positive or constructive family relationships, we treat the people who we've known for a long time with those same kind of ideas. You know,
Mhm.
even people we just meet, you
Hey,
know,
boo.
um, even with people we just meet, we treat them how we were conditioned to treat people
Mm.
and how we were conditioned to be treated. And what I love about this is that you mentioned that you met when you were teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
And on this journey, we talk about, you know, growing every day, like being a new person every day, reintroducing ourselves every day. So to think, and this just came to me while you were speaking, I didn't even think of this during our little pre talk, to think that we just need to be aligned and cozy, friendly with people that we've known for 20 years when we haven't been sharing this growth and rebirth together on a consistent basis. That's silly.
Mm-hmm.
That's silly. You're like 80 different version, 80th edition version of yourself, trying to hang on to this friend from high school or college.
Mm. Hey, Sumi.
And it's like, hey, and it's just like, y'all are like not even friends anymore
When you really.
because you're a different person. And that's okay. That's okay. I was here to tell you right now. If
Mm-hmm.
you are feeling obligated to somebody that you are no longer aligned with because you have metamorphosized into a whole new being, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay because you're not that same person that was hanging out with them, that was having those experiences, that was having those conversations. You are a new creature. You are a new being. You are on a new level. And I did this little diagram I don't have with me, but our path is not about somebody being above somebody or better than somebody or more elevated or expanded than somebody. It's just that you have an awareness, I have an awareness within myself that I am no longer in alignment with this person's journey. And
Mm.
they're on their own journey, I'm on my own journey, and there is no comparison. They're just two different journeys. And oof, it's so interesting because this idea, this concept that we should be just like hanging on for dear life to our high school friends or our college
Mm,
friends. It's so ingrained into society. Every 10 years, there's a reunion for high
mm-hmm.
school. You know, people have like alumni parties for college and like dinners and things, and you're supposed to be like all up in people's business, like, oh, how many kids you got, or oh, how much weight did you gain or lose, or are you still in
What kind
doing
of
the
job do
sport?
you got? How
Right, how
much
much
money
money
you
you making?
making?
Just being nosy. Just being nosy with these people that you haven't seen in years or decades, but we felt obligated to attend these things. Full disclosure, I did not go to my 10-year reunion.
I
did,
did, and it was so awkward.
did not care.
It was so awkward.
And that's what my friend Kelsey, we went to the same high school, and she went, and I was like, we got something to tea, what was going on, who was there, because I was curious, but I wasn't curious
Enough to
enough to
go.
fly from Los Angeles, okay, to Chicago Heights, okay. Not that interested. I just wanted to know what it was like, and she said, yeah, it was kind of cool. Some people got a little too tipsy, but it was okay. Kind of awkward, like Rick was saying. But that's like the general consensus. Like if you watch any type of a show or movie or hear about it from another person, meeting people 10 years after you have graduated high school and y'all are living all different types of lives and haven't really touched base like that, it's awkward. And I get the idea is like you all shared this experience and you might be able to grow your network or something like that. But in this age, when social media is so prevalent, when you can send somebody an email, like you can text somebody, call them on the phone, easily, simply keep in touch. It's not like people are back out here writing letters and sending them through the post office anymore. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? If you wanted to stay connected with those people, you could, but you're not, and they aren't.
Mhm.
And like Raymel was saying, with his friend or his associate, the person that he has known in his life, when he would have his, when Raymel would have his things, his party, or his events or whatever, nowhere to be found this person. And you also said something interesting, because you said when this individual would have something for themselves, you would hear about it from ancillary friends,
Mhm.
not even directly from that person. And so it's like y'all ain't even really crossing paths like that. It's just like, well, we're all in this connected like attachment, you
And
know?
I didn't bring in, and I'm getting the last minute invite.
Right.
This has been circulating around for a while, and it's the
Been ready
weekend
since
of, and
last
I just got a
year.
call on Thursday. So I'm supposed to just
Rush and hurry up and
drop
show
whatever I
up
may or may not be doing to
with no
go into that.
preparation. And it's so interesting. That's the word I'll use. It's interesting how we allow ourselves to be treated that way.
So that's what I was gonna talk on that, but I
Yeah.
am, yes.
Yeah, and I mean, I can kind of drop it there, but it's just interesting that we allow ourselves to be treated that way, knowing that we don't like feeling that way. And I'll drop it. I landed there, so right now
So
can
much
share.
goodness.
Yes.
But what came up for me as you were talking, and even emotions are coming up for me because during the time of that friendship, that's when I experienced a lot of my hardships. I experienced homelessness during that time. I was sleeping in my car at one point, and they looked out for me to an extent, but there was still that rejection I felt there also. So I felt embraced by them and their family, and wow, I didn't even know it's going. See, that's why having the conversations begin. You would open up portals you didn't even know needed to be open. Wow, but like
Let's talk about it.
I would feel like I was always getting the hand me downs in regards to like doing what they could, and I know it wasn't an obligation for them to do much, but just how I felt treated, how I felt embraced, and
Mhm.
I felt like even in the circle of friends, I was trying to prove that I was worthy to be in that, to be a part of that circle.
Mm,
So now time has passed and didn't really resonate until we're talking about it now.
mm,
That in a sense, a part of me still, when I have been going to go to the celebrations, I've been going to still feel included in the
mm,
circle. And that just hit me right now because in reality, like time has passed, we're different. It's not something that like I see this person on a regular. So why is it this when
mm,
this event happens, their birthday or something they have going on, I'm trying to make myself go
mm.
just so I can still be included in the circle,
Ooh-wee.
in a circle that is no longer a fit for me. Because
Mm,
the circles that are meant for me, I don't have to prove, I don't have to show, I just have to be. And I'm accepted with being wherever I am, whoever
yes.
I am. And I'm not, if I don't do this, then I'm condemned or I'm wrong. But it's like the pressure of I have to go versus when I have my birthday, there was no nothing,
Mhm,
not even like and it was after the fact and it was like, oh yeah, let's make up and meet up, and that never happened.
mm,
So it was just showing me like this is where we are and I'm okay with that. Like no love lost, I'll still have love for you, I'll still
mhm,
consider you like family because we shared a lot of experiences. But even family you outgrow in the seasons of that super connectedness.
mhm,
And you become disconnected, but you still have love for them. So I feel like that really hit me like in this moment because that was during that time of our friendship was where a lot of my teenage to early adult trauma started to accumulate.
mm,
Had those experiences where that's when had the choice of moving to Minnesota with my mother, trying that out for 2 weeks and knew that that wasn't for me. And then I came back and I didn't have a place to stay. So I was sleeping in my car. I was bathing at the gym and just finding ways. I was Uber before Uber was even a thing because I would give people rides just to have gas or food.
mm,
But in that case, like that was when like I would have a lot of things that I experienced during that season of our life, but I've healed a lot of those things.
mm,
So that's where like even going into the environments of the old friends, that need to explain what I'm doing or how I'm doing the thing, it just doesn't feel genuine. It feels like you don't really care because after this day we ain't gonna talk again. We're not gonna talk again. We're not
till
gonna
next
communicate.
year.
We're not gonna until the
Mhm,
next year's celebration, and then we're
mm.
supposed to act like, oh, we're so tight, we're so close. But in
I missed
reality,
you.
y'all talk. Y'all are so tight. Y'all are so close, and I'm just getting the
Mhm,
leftover invitation because I'm the one that. Oh, did you think about Raymel? Versus if it was something that
mm,
was of obligation for you all with me being there, I would have been a part of the original invites that
mm,
went out. So that just hit me because throughout my life, I felt like, and that's been that old seed that has been growing within me of trying to prove myself or show that I am worthy has been coming through lately for me. And I'm seeing
mm,
how it's branched out into different relationships and situations. And now even having this realization of like, Raymel, you've been going because you've been trying to prove that you're a part of that circle.
prove that you're worthy.
Yeah, I'll end it because I'm still processing that
Yeah, okay.
right
I feel
now.
shifting in the room right
Wow.
now. I feel the shift happening because I'm just feeling that energy. And it's something that I have also had to navigate. Um, but here's the thing about me. Hey, Astoria
Hey,
girl.
so yeah.
Here's the thing about me. Even when I was in high school, and I just kind of let y'all know, I was like, once I'm out, I'm out. Like, if we ain't talking, we ain't talking. Like, that's just it. And I haven't really had that type of social obligation because I I sensed the toxicity of it growing up. And I think it's because I was like always going to different family things and hearing conversations about people feeling like obligated to go to other things, and um, just and also like watching like different media, and the one person's trying to fit in with the cool kids and they have to like change themselves, and then at the end of the movie they realize, oh, I just like being myself and I didn't have to change myself at all. And I'm like, I don't need to go through the whole process to realize I just want to be myself and try to fit in with people. And but I still did feel, I, I I have to admit there were parts of me that felt like, oh, I wanted to be invited to something, or like if people came back and were like, oh yeah, we went to the movies and we're talking in the hallway or something. I'm like, oh, why didn't y'all invite me?
Mm.
Um, but and it was like this weird duality where I was like, I probably didn't want to go anyway because I don't want to deal with the awkwardness. But at the same time, I want to, like he said, I want to feel included. I
Mhm.
want to feel invited and welcome. I want to feel like y'all are thinking about me, because it's like we have these conversations and we share these experiences and it creates these connections. And what's supposed to come with these connections is people thinking about you, people including you. Like that's like the sense we get. They're like, oh, if someone meets me in the hallway and says they miss me, and like they're like hugging me and they're like, oh yeah, da da da. And then they're just talking about how they went to the movies last weekend, but you weren't missing me then. Like you didn't have to miss me, is the point. Hey, Angelique,
Hey, Angelique.
you didn't have to miss me. You could have just invited me. And that's where that awkwardness comes in when we go to these social functions and everybody's like trying to kiki and like do the little small talk and catch up and all this stuff. It's like we wouldn't have to do so much catching up if we just stayed in contact. And that's just the real truth of it. It's so interesting. Um, okay, yes, we'll get that scheduled.
Yeah.
um, because y'all had a really good conversation. I did see that. But um, that sense of obligation is so strong. And what I love about this moment right now with Raymel is that when we are kind of lost in the sauce, you feel me? Um, it's challenging, it's difficult to really see that we're in a sauce, to see that we're in this like back and forth of, I'm gonna just give you the leftovers, I'm gonna run for the leftovers, and then I'm not gonna see you next time until I got more leftovers, and then I'm gonna run for those leftovers. Like, and we're just kind of lost in this. But when we take the time to be in safe spaces where we can express ourselves,
Mhm.
where we can be introspective in an open way, so that we can hear ourselves saying, because like he said, he's processing this right now. But that processing, it can come from thought, but with our thoughts, they're so fleeting.
Mhm.
But when we hear it reverberating, it echoes more in our consciousness, and we're able to be like, okay, wait, hold on, let me think about what I just said right now. This person is treating me this way, and it's bringing up a sense of unworthiness, and I'm trying to make myself feel worthy by fitting in, but when I go, it's awkward, and I don't see these people for another year. That doesn't make sense. But in your mind, you also have all of the history and the
Mhm.
guilt and the experiences, the memories. And so all of that gets played in. But when you say it out loud, when we say these things out loud, we are like, if somebody else was telling me that,
I'm like, why are you going?
why are you doing this?
Why are you going? Why are you even
This,
gonna put yourself in this situation?
why are you putting yourself in this situation? And it's so important that we have these spaces, because say Ray Mel, and we kind of brought this up with the family conversation last time. If we try to express these things to the people who we are experiencing them from or with, oftentimes it can be negated or deflected, or people get defensive, and then we start to question ourselves even more. And there's even more guilt, like, oh, I shouldn't even have said anything. Now things are more awkward. Now I feel even more guilty. And it's just a whole thing. And then it makes the relationship even more tense. And it makes it like, because that awareness is there now, right? It's like I'm aware that this person hasn't been treating me the way that I want to be treated, good, bad, and different, whatever. They're not treating me the way that I want to be treated. And now they're aware that they aren't treating me the way that I want to be treated, but they think how they're treating me is fine because that's the way I condition them to treat me. And so there's this kind of contention with you as you go forward with that person. But when we have the time to process in a safe space where it's not attached to that situation, and this is why coaching is important, safe spaces are important. Just like, listen, therapy, like anywhere where you can share a challenging relationship dynamic with a third party that's not included in whatever is going on, it's so powerful. And it really allows you to process and take steps forward in a more empowered space and with a more confident energy. Because, like, now, I mean, I'm not going to speak for Raymel, but if I was having something like this going on, and then I came to Healing Conversations and I was like, hold on now. I just had a breakthrough. I just had
because I was already feeling it before I came. Like, Remo, you know you don't want to go. Remo, you know. So this is really solidifying how I was already feeling, and now it's really giving me the less guilt, but more empowerment to stand in what I already know I don't want to do.
Yeah. And like I was saying, for me, if somebody were to ask me, like one of the friends of this friend who invited me, was like, "Oh, are you gonna be going?" And I could just be like, "No," and just like Rainbow was saying, be empowered in that. And I feel like I have to explain myself or make up an excuse. Just, no, I'm not going. It doesn't feel aligned with me. I just don't feel like going. Have a good times with love. With love, with grace. I hope you have a wonderful, spectacular time. I'm just not going to be there. And I don't have to break down my whole epiphany to you because, one, you're probably just not there.
And honestly, whether you're there or not, they're not really. It's not a factor. I think that's true. Exactly. We get so lost in here. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to think this. Oh my God. And they like, well.
I have to tell them everything so they can understand. No, just no is a complete sentence and let it be. But go ahead.
Oh my goodness. No, I love this because this is a beautiful display of the teacher can really be the student, should always be the student. Because I know in how I show up, people look at me as, oh, this, whatever perception they have of me. I don't even want to put definitions of it. But I love to show my real life healing in real life time because this is how I support others through the work that I do on myself. So this is just showing how important this work is and to stay consistent in it because as you're in it, you can support others while they're on their journeys. But this has really been awakening for me because it's like I already knew that in my heart that it wasn't in alignment. And I think because as I was driving here, they're like, "Hey, question: Can you bring? Can you get some balloons?
Can you bring some ice?"
It's like, how did I get a part of the coordination party? I went from barely being invited to now I'm a part of last minute pickups. And it just showed, and I know that their intention because they have love for this friend or friend, but I know that it's not obligation. And the friend that is like doing the coordination, like I actually like we all were a part of our little group. So I see and know that their intentions is good, but just my attention and awareness of knowing that it's just not where I'm at. It's not where we're at. And I feel like this is an important conversation to.
I'm sorry. I asked you to bring balloons. I invited you like 4 days before it's happening.
I know that, and it's just really knowing like that's just not where we are. This is very, I would say, a good conversation for others who, even if it's not a friend, even if it's a family, even if it's an acquaintance or a significant other, and you know that your time has expired. That your season is no longer, that summer is over and now it's fall and they're falling off because they're not a part of this new season. To honor that. And I think that's where the attachment comes in, because we're often afraid that if I let go, what will I have? Who will I have? Will something replace it? So I'll stay in it and hold on to it just because of the comfort of it, even if it's uncomfortable to me. Even if my needs are not being met, or I don't feel seen, heard, or feel loved, I'll still hold on to this little bit of past that isn't really a part of my future. But it's something I can reference to, and someone who knew me.
Hey, Helen.
So I can say, hey, Helen, that knew me. Oh, yeah, remember? And I noticed that is a lot of times we're referencing to what we used to do and how we used to be and what we were, just the old part of the journey. And a lot of times we're stuck there. Because even that means that if that's where we only connect, that's what you expect to show up. And that's how unconsciously I expect to show up, to be in the spaces. So I find that even in that, I'm going back to an old version of me to be able to connect to everyone in the circle. So it's really, why am I backstepping? Why am I going back into who I was and not being able to honor who I am now? Who I am now, he ain't going. Not even he don't want to go. He's not going. And it's no love loss. It's no shade. It's no disrespect. It's just, it's not. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't ignite like, oh, I'm gonna see these people and have these exchanges. It's like, oh, I wonder who's gonna be there. It's gonna be the awkwardness of, hey, how are you? And then there's all the attention on my friend. And then when I'm not talking to him or engaging with him, I'm just silent. I'm just there, spending money, spending time, wasting gas, and yeah, and it's no, and I'm not saying this, and I feel like even when we express ourselves, why is the first thing we do is try to explain ourselves? Because I was just about to explain what I wasn't trying to come across as, but Raymond, no, don't even open that door. Say what you said and stand in it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not even gonna go into, oh, but I'm not saying it's this or that. I'm just saying that's what I said.
What?
Period.
Period. What? Something that hit me while you were talking.
As I didn't even see this, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Overly, as soon as you said overly explaining yourself is a trauma response. And I didn't even see that. And I was just about to go into over explaining myself. I love you so much. You definitely was like, I didn't even see it. And
if y'all want to
hop on, if y'all got anything y'all want to contribute.
But exactly.
Period. Put that period behind the story.
But what came up for me while you were sharing was like the shrinking, the shrinking back into your a previous version of yourself, right? Because we were talking about, you're like version 80, their version whatever, but y'all haven't been growing together, so you don't know each other, right? So when we,
hey brother Jorge,
when we shrink, hey Jorge, hola, buenos dias, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
When we shrink back into those spaces, what was coming up for me was this present version of Raymel is like, I don't want to shrink. I don't want to be that person that I was. I don't want to put on this mask and this costume and this wig and these shoes and this jacket. You feel me? Bring some balloons looking like a clown. Like,
literally.
I don't want to do that. And it's so important for us to recognize when our present self, when our higher self is telling us, this is something that's going to shrink you. And I don't want to shrink. It feels like awkwardness. It feels like lack of enthusiasm. It feels like guilt. It feels like sadness. It feels like you're being crushed.
Mm.
And often we don't listen to that because of all of the mind stuff. Because like he was talking about all the history and all the remember when we used to do this and whatever and they looked out for you that one time and
I love how we just go into mannequins. Yeah, whenever we get a poor connection on our side and we know that y'all ain't hearing nothing, we literally will see poor connection and we like, and
pause
then
for the
it'll come
gods.
back on and we're like, bye boom.
Pause for the gods. Oh, hey T.
Hey T,
But we
happy belated birthday.
yes, happy belated birthday, Queen. But we go um we ignore these because of all of the history and things going on. Um, but what our soul is saying to us, what our intuition, our gut, our heart is telling us is that if you go, if you go into this, you're going to shrink.
Mm.
And the reason I got so hype about this because I had to make a very challenging decision recently because my husband Donald Glover is on tour. He's actually postponing some of his shows. He was actually supposed to be performing in LA this month, but he's having some health things going on and whatever. But I was like super hype. I was like, oh my gosh, the last Childish Gambino concert. I gotta be there because his music got me through and we met that one time in Kansas City and it's just been so good. Always puts on an amazing show. Like I have to be there, right? But then as I sat and I was going through his discography, which is spectacular, um, I recognize that I am a different version of myself. I recognize that I'm a different version of myself, and as much as I want to support him as an artist because I love him, I realize like the environment and some of like the fans that he creates because some of his music is um, provocative and also like emotional. He's very like open with like his mental state in his music. And he was having a challenging time. Like he talks a lot about like the pressures of being like famous and having to navigate being just a black man in the industry, being an independent artist, and it's just open music, and I respect that. Um, but I know that some people can get like stuck in those different tracks. You feel me? And that energy can be kind of like heavy.
Mhm.
And so when I really sat with myself, because ticks were little bit high, you feel me? But I was willing to make the investment, and I wasn't thinking in like money lack. I was like, why am I not feeling that call to go? Because there was like a little something in there.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, if I go to this concert, it's not gonna just be me and Donald Glover having a great time. There's gonna be a bunch of other people there. And I know he's not going to do just the things from his new album. It's his last concert under this moniker, Childish Gambino. So he's gonna throw some other things in there. And I was just like, I'm not, and also I'm just not aligned with every song that he recently released either. And I just had to really allow myself to accept that if I went to this show and I invested these hundreds of dollars into this, it would be a great experience, but the energy of it would take me back. It would take me back to when I was in college and I was going through my things and I was relating to his music and I was in that energy field. And so I made the decision that I wouldn't go even though I was like, yo, last concert, feeling that sense of obligation. But I had to recognize that that had had its time and just allow myself to be okay with that. And, like not try to like, ooh, what is the word that I want to use here? Like, not try to tell myself that it was actually about money when it wasn't about
To
money.
create the story, to
Yeah,
dishonor, like
yeah,
to overlook what really was the root. It's like that's just not
right.
in alignment.
It's just not in alignment, and and I was so grateful that I recognized that because I would have, many of you all know I live in a shelter right now. Oh, that was. And there's a time, a curfew, and I could have asked for an extension, and I'm pretty sure I would have gotten it. But the thing is, it would have been like this whole thing, right? And so I just had to honor myself and I like celebrate myself for that awareness because I could have just been rolling with my emotions and my history and my thoughts and my feelings and things, but I recognize like, oh, this season of this has run its course. I'm not like a screaming fangirl anymore, and it's not because I'm in my 30s. It's not because his music has changed or whatever. Like, it's just because I'm not in alignment with the energy. And I don't want to saturate myself, like be in a crowd of people, you feel me? Booming music, like getting all up into my subconscious and feel like I can continue to grow and expand at the same rate that I am because that memory would still be, shaking through my body. But yeah.
You know what you said, and I see you, Helen. We're gonna bring you up in a minute. What really landed with what you were saying is knowing who you are now and what lights you up and excites you now is really it's very important because as you were saying, like the old me would have liked to be in the crowds and the turn up and that, but then the current present me, I like intimate encounters. I like one-on-one exchanges. I like to talk. I like to engage in that way. And when you don't know who you are presently, because who you are now, you'll be someone different tomorrow and the next day. But presently, you're able to honor like does being in large environments and loud music and all the things, does that really pull me or do I really would rather if I did want to catch up with them, have some form of like, let's hang out. Let's go have lunch or let me come over, you come over and let's connect.
Yeah.
Is more in alignment with me now because the old me would have tried to make it to the thing. The new me is like, yo, let's hang out. Do you want to catch up? Let's catch up. And that's really where I'm able to honor where I'm at and not be pulled back into that old belief of this is what I have to do and this is who I have to be and this is how I have to show up. Because I think that's where a lot of people they get into that entanglement of the past and the present and they fall back into the past because presently they don't know where they are, who they are, what they like, what they don't like. So they're just going with what they are familiar with, unaware that you've outgrown yourself. Not even that you've outgrown people, you've outgrown yourself. So who you may say I know myself to be, that's not who you are. But instead of allowing the snake to shed its skin, you trying to hold on to the old little skins that's kind of fall. You're like, but I don't want to make a mess. I don't want. And so you're like, no, let that skin go, let it go, so you can be.
Let that skin go.
You can emerge into who you are trying to become versus what you are stuck in. All right, Helen. So I feel your energy. I feel like you got something to add to the space, and we always love seeing your face.
Yes, I was trying to invite you earlier, but I'm gonna be getting a new phone, y'all. I think the Instagram is gonna be better.
There we go. Hey, Helen.
Hello, Helen.
I was like, what is that, a dog? Your phone was. I was like, is that a puppy? No, that's a stuffed animal. I was really invested.
The perfect time for me to have found you tonight. It's the eve of my finally 72nd birthday.
Tomorrow is it? Is it tomorrow, Helen?
Yeah. But I had to do something really, really hard today.
Mm.
And it was all based on all the work I've been doing with you guys.
Mm.
And, man, I mean, everything that I've learned, everything that I've used has come to the forefront, and, we talked about doing things because of fear, listening to respond, or, talking to listen, you know what I mean? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
but you've heard me refer to this friend of mine that I've had for like 42 years, and, we've had these encounters, and, she stepped over the line, and I had to let who I am now come out.
Mm.
But and I did, I did. But really, really hard. And then of course my old self would have a habit of doubting myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then wanting to like curl up in a corner and say, no, I'm sorry, I was wrong. It's, I know you feel me right now,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, I was forced to walk on eggshells. And I ain't doing that no more. And if that means I got to stand alone, for some reason, other than you guys, the universe wants me to be alone. I don't have a tribe. I have to do all this stuff alone. I don't know why, but so I did that. And I was like, wow, you actually did that. And I did it. I mean, I did it in peace. I didn't do it in anger. I did it in peace. But I'm obviously terribly hurt about the whole thing, But that's what it is, and that's what I realized that all that it's fear, it's the past, it's like talking about who we were then and who we are now, and and yeah. So I'm just I haven't had a response, so I have to be okay with no response being a response, and then actually I had the conversation actually, and it doesn't really matter what the response is.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
This is the final word. This is me crawling either under or over something.
Mm-hmm.
To another level.
Mm-hmm.
But it's scary here. And I have been working on my book. But it's been like it's blowing my mind, but it's turning out to be what I thought might happen, way more than a book for other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's calling up all of me.
Mm-hmm.
All of me. It's going to be like a therapy book. I don't know. It's just, it's incredible. That when I do it, what comes out, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly, because of you guys, because I found you, because I've done this work, even though I'm straight up alone today, and will probably be tomorrow, and I'm sad that I had to lose someone to gain my part of myself that needs to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm making sense. So it's just like,
Yes.
I feel like I'm aligned with myself.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily mean you're always going to like the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And this relationship now, see what sort of what you were talking about too. This relationship, so much like my position growing up. Like, she's the alpha. I wasn't allowed to say anything. I had no opinion. Today she offered to take me to a place that she likes for her birthday. And when I suggested something else, that I would like, I got the kind of response that I wouldn't even give to a person I don't know or don't like on the street.
Mm.
And that light bulb went off again. And I said, Helen, I'll be done in 2 minutes. I had to walk out of that. I had to walk out of that and stand up, you know, because it's not okay. I'm not that person anymore. You know, I'm Helen. I have a voice.
Yes.
I know who I am, you know,
Yes.
and, but it's hard. It's hard and it's sad. I find it very difficult to let go of people that mean a lot to me.
Mm.
But this had to be done. But still in there, in all that, there is that little kernel of joy and that little kernel of, oh yeah, excuse me, but fuck yeah.
Yes. Don't
You
excuse
know,
it.
I'm
Say
not
it out
that
loud.
little,
Fuck
I'm not
yeah.
that little kid anymore. You know? And before I die, I'm putting that crown back on my head.
Yes.
And you know, you've all been part of my journey. And you know, this is, who knows? Tomorrow's another day, but you know, it'll be different for sure. I don't know how I'll feel when I wake up, but I needed to share this with you. I mean, this is huge on the eve of my birthday. But I couldn't. There was no other way to do it. I couldn't walk backwards, like you said, Angelique. I couldn't go back. You know, I couldn't go back. I just can't be there anymore. This is where I am now. And so you're going to either meet me where I'm at or I let you go with love.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
Helen, I celebrate you. I feel like Sumi has something to just share. I feel your energy, Sumi. I don't know why it's coming so strong. So I want to give you the floor, Sumi, and just.
Yeah, thank you. I have a little bit of a cold, flu or whatever it's called going. But anyways, what I just want to pitch in there is we're never alone, right? And you know, I can understand how you feel a little bit there, Helen. But we are actually never alone. The reason why sometimes we can feel chaos or the sense of loneliness is mostly because we, on our part, don't feel connected enough. When we see ourselves more as energy and we see ourselves more as spirit, and you know, connecting truly to that portion of ourselves that we know we are, honestly, you don't feel loneliness. You don't feel alone. You don't feel like you're here all by yourself. For me, one way that I've been able to cope with, you know, moments where I find myself in need of a person's touch or a voice or just someone to talk to, and it's just me by myself. What I have started doing basically is putting myself, you know, like for example, the other day I felt so, you know, so down in my spirit. I went and I picked up a gallon of milk, right? And the visualization that came to me was, oh my goodness, I'm holding this gallon of milk. Do you know how many people came together or how many energies, frequencies came together to make this milk, right? There was the cow that produced some of it. There was the machineries that put it together. There are the people, the buckets, you know, when you're pulling the milk from the cows, it goes in the bucket, it goes in through a process. There's probably 50 to 100 people or types of frequencies just for me, beautiful me, amazing me, to get this milk to nourish my system. Am I really alone?
Perspective.
I appreciate what you're saying to me, and I totally agree with you. I mean, I struggle to have a really strong connection because in my mind, I mean, it is the universe and it is energy, but it is also a male energy. And because I did not have a father to love, I struggle with that part, and I pray about it a lot. I don't know what a father's love feels like. So I find myself at times missing touch. Like, I was a massage therapist for years, and people would cry on my table because they hadn't been touched. And as soon as I started touching certain parts of their body, it would release their sorrow and their pain. And, you know, people are not meant to not be touched. And that's the part I'm struggling with, you know, and it could be something as simple as just getting another dog, you know, because my connection with my higher power is a very important part of my daily thing. So my question is to myself, so what the hell's wrong with you? You're not alone. No, I know I'm not alone, but physically I'm alone. You know, I wish I was in LA. There's a hug from each of you once a week would get me through, you know? So thank you so much. But I understand everything that you said, and you're so right. You're so right. Thank you so much, Emmy.
I really honor your vulnerability and your openness, Helen. Just to recognize what specifically it is that you are wanting, and not just trying to like pray it away or push it away or like meditate it away, you know, just being like, I'm recognizing specifically that I want to feel like close to another life, you know. That's
Yeah.
a beautiful recognition to have. And as you allow yourself to have this space and this awareness, it will naturally fold into your life, right? But I also really wanted to just, because you got me emotional, Helen. Like, your journey has been so beautiful. And when you said like, I'm putting my crown back on, you know, like this stage in your life, you know, there's no like old or late or too far or whatever, but just in this present, we're always in the present. And the fact that you are aware that you are regal, that you are noble, that you deserve to be treated with divine love and respect, like, that just touched my heart so much. Like, I don't even have the words to articulate beyond that. I really appreciate it.
I got it from you and Raymel. That's where it came from.
Well, I'm getting it back from you. I'm getting it back from you.
You know, and you know, people, you know, I always say to people, like, don't call me at 6:30 on Saturday because I'm not available. You know, I mean, this was important to me. You know, in many ways, it's a human connection. I've learned so much, you know, and remembered so much that I had forgotten. And yes, it is. You know, it's only now in my 70s, and probably just this past year, that I proudly say that yes, I am a queen. And I deserve all that a queen deserves, because I give 150 more than I get. I am a good woman.
Yes, you are.
Absolutely. You know, and I am not friend, foe, whatever. I am not settling for disrespect from anyone anymore. They have to decide. They either respect me or they walk away from me with my love. That's it.
And you know what? I just want to just speak to Helen, that what a beautiful gift the universe is gifting you with the release of that old friendship that is no longer in alignment with this new season that you are stepping into tomorrow. And the gift is that how this universe works is whenever there's an empty space, it's always filled. You don't have to force, you don't have to chase, you don't have to try. You just have to allow the new things to come in. And by you standing in your yes to yourself, and you are allowing yourself to love and honor yourself, you only can attract, as Sumi was saying, everything is energy, everything is frequency. So you only can attract something that mirrors and matches your vibration. So that's the beauty, is by you allowing yourself to say no. I'm not going to hold on to this toxicity. I'm not going to hold on to, even if it's a masculine energy, it's not the healthy masculine energy
No.
that is loving me, embracing me, but it's actually making me feel less than. It's actually making
Yeah,
me feel
exactly.
unconsidered.
Those are the exact words I used.
Mhm.
I will not be made to feel less than.
And that's where
I
Anna
know who
felt.
I am now. I know who I am now. I know who I am. I am a damn good friend. You know, I was a good daughter. I'm a good sister. I'm a good person.
You're a good person.
I'm a really good person.
Period.
You know, and I don't, you know, so I am demanding that I get what I give. I'll meet you where you're at, and we'll see where it goes, you know. But I'm not playing. I'm just not
The
playing.
universe knows that, and now you have
But
reached a new level
it's
of
hard.
attraction.
It's hard. It hurts.
Yeah.
And I
You know, it hurts
invite you,
because
Helen,
it's-
to feel that hurt,
Yeah.
feel that pain, feel that anger, feel the irritation, because that's really where you open the portal to release. Because
Yeah.
the friend is just a physical,
Mhm.
and energy
Right.
turns into matter. Matter doesn't turn into energy. So as you release those emotions, you're releasing that energetic connection, that energetic tie you have to that
Mhm.
relationship, and that's where that space is truly created. So as you're doing now, like, I honor you because you're feeling your feelings, you're feeling hurt, you're feeling, in a sense, lonely, but you're feeling it so it can pass through. And now you can feel joyful, you can feel happy, you can feel
Hopefully
connected,
tomorrow.
you can
Yeah.
feel the tribe and the love. You have 3 souls right now that is loving on you and reflecting back to you how amazing you are. So I just honor you because this is happening for you.
Mhm.
And I'm grateful that you are saying yes to you. So you're allowing this to be something that it's elevating you. So I thank you for sharing so openly and vulnerably and letting us love on you, because that's really what your soul it needs right now. It needs that love
Yeah.
activation to be
Yeah, it does.
activated.
And I'm going to have to start giving it to myself,
Mm.
you know. But I want to say one more thing, and then I don't want to take up any more space. But I remembered you saying to feel those feelings and just let them flow.
Mhm.
Like, don't attach to them. Just feel it. And that's what I've been doing. And I've been doing deep breathing through the heart from the diaphragm.
Mhm.
You know, I'm doing the work. You know, I'm doing the work. And and it was like, oh, okay, it's working. Now what? You know, now you got to put, what's the saying? Shit or get off the pot. You know, so.
And love
Anyway,
on little
thank you so
Helen.
much for everything.
Love on little Helen
Thank
too.
you,
Let her know
Helen.
she is safe, she is heard, she is loved, and
We've had that conversation.
give her a big old hug. Hug yourself
Yeah.
right now, Helen, if you can, and just imagine it's me, Angelique, and Sumi. We're giving you all the love. Oh, this is a group hug. We're giving you this
I
virtual.
swear to God, if I get the money for a plane ticket, I'm coming to LA. There's no other place to go.
We love you.
I
We
feel
love
it.
you so much, Helen. We
I'm
love
trying to
you.
find to see if you can see this.
What? What is that?
That's little me.
Oh wow!
Oh,
Wait,
lift
back
it
it up,
up.
back it up. Helen, back it up. There we go. Lift it up.
Lift it up a little bit.
Oh
Wow.
wow!
Cutie.
That was one of my happy memories that I remembered. And look where I'm at. I'm back at the ocean. I'm back at the ocean where I started.
I love it.
You know, my soul wanted to be here. Has been easy? Hell frickin' no. But I'm surrounded by water and that special light that goes with the ocean and the smell and the seagulls and the shells. I mean, yeah, it's like I've come full circle. I'm giving myself the chills. So,
We love you, Helen, and
I love you guys,
happy 72 years around the sun. I know it's tomorrow, but I'm telling you today, and I'll send you a message tomorrow.
okay. You know,
Happy birthday, Helen.
thank you. It's a privilege denied to many. So I am grateful, even though I don't like being old. Thank you so much. I'm done.
Okay. We love you.
We love you, Helen.
Love you too, guys.
Does this even work
Thank you.
anymore? I don't think it does.
I got a half of one. I don't know what I'm doing with this shit.
It did work, I think, once.
It worked with the thumbs up.
I never did it.
You haven't been able to figure it out, Sumi.
But yes, this is so powerful.
I knew that this was going to be, I knew that it was going to really open up a portal, because this is where a lot of us, I feel like we, beyond just friendships, relationships, jobs, just things we hold on to for dear life because we're afraid of that feeling of loneliness. We're afraid of that feeling of feeling abandoned or even unworthy. So we're like, well, let me have something. And that need to have something is really what keeps people stuck in what they don't need to have. Because it's not expanding you, it's not growing you, it's just keeping you in that old version of you that you don't even love. So how can you love yourself if you're still stuck in a version of yourself that doesn't know how to receive love, but thinks that it's giving it? But if you are not loving yourself, you're not giving genuine love. You're giving something to receive. So you're giving conditional love. It comes with conditions. If I do, then. If I act, then. And it's really, that's not, and I'm speaking that to myself because that is how I used to show up. Now I know that I deserve it, so I give it to me, but that's still a practice within itself. That's not something that, unfortunately, a lot of the world is taught how to do. So that's why I celebrate the conscious parents. Sumi, I celebrate you because you are a part of the conscious parents who is consciously, intentionally just doing the work on yourself. And that just naturally bleeds into how you raise your children. And that's where it's like, I give you your flowers, your balloons, your hearts. Girl, I give it to you because, and it makes me emotional because had I had that growing up, it would have been it would have made a big difference in my life just to have someone who hears me, who sees me, who tries to understand me and doesn't just like talk down to me and belittle me and make me think I'm less than because they don't know themselves. So I just wanted to just say that because that is what creates the new ripple effect of change in the future is by what we're doing now. And that is like so powerful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's definitely been challenging, but it's gotten easier for me. The more that I get to connect deeper to myself in understanding my value as a spirit, the more I actually see myself as a spirit instead of seeing myself as, maybe a human, a thing, or whatever. Not that I'm not human, I am. A big part of me is, but it gets easier as you dip in the connection you have with your inner self. And there's definitely pros and cons to this as well for me. But, learning the art of attachment is one thing that has come naturally for me. Where when you don't tie meaning to things, you tie importance to something and just view it as energy, view it as spirit. It makes life really easy, right? It's also the reason why your things will start to come more and more open to you as you live in connection with spirit. And for me, that's what happened. I had to basically just stop, spending money in spiritual retreats. I did a little bit of that early on in my journey. Not that these things are not good. I think there's a lot of healing modifications, whatever that's out there, that we can definitely look into. But sometimes it's also a way to distract you from reaching goals, right? Because we can attach ourselves to things, to people. It's still an attachment is an attachment. So for me, learning to not be attached to things and only doing things out of, hey, questioning myself, something that's going to benefit me. Do you want, what is right here on this? Thinking this, thinking into, can you help me understand it more? Why do I need to fit in this piece, and just come from there. So it's one day at a time, but I'm still healing. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Once in a while, I go into my other side, dark side. Like, okay, I got borrowed 5 seconds. I want to feel human.
Let me wake some shit up real quick.
So we do these things to ourselves, and are we okay? Because for me, the question was, when I deep into the dark side, why am I beating up on myself, right? So I started to turn that into, okay, maybe I'm going into this side for a second because it is who I am. So me beating down on myself by not wanting to be vulnerable or by not wanting to feel pain is not being human. So how about I just throw all this shit out and I feel this pain. And I promise you, ever since I started to do that a few years ago, the more I feel the pain when it comes, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to kick you away and I'm not going to try to run away from you. I'm going to feel you. Okay, what do you want? And I started to do that. All of a sudden, within minutes, I'm back to myself again. So it's like, why then we push ourselves to the wall and not feel these feelings? These feelings are here to help us. They make us stronger. So tending more into that actually helps us get closer to our goals.
Truth.
Yeah, it's a part of what we came in this human form to do, to feel. And I think that's where the fact that we weren't taught how to do that is what makes this human form for others label it as bad or hard or all the things. And I guess we could, to some extent, say that, but in reality, it's expansive. And when anything grows, it doesn't feel good when, whether you are carrying a child or whether you are growing in whatever area in the physical realm of your life, like it doesn't feel good. Growing muscle. When I'm in the gym, it doesn't feel good when I'm putting that weight on. But I've learned to embrace that pain because I know that it's working towards, it's serving a purpose. It's going to get me a result. So that's where I think we get lost. And I love that you brought the detachment piece into it because that's a universal law of relativity. Nothing means anything in life until we add meaning to it. And we're meaning making machines. So the meaning we put, that was told to me when I did the self-development seminar, and they asked us a question, and we were thinking we knew the answer, and we were putting so much meaning, and it was a question that was not meant to mean anything, but we were like, it means this, it means that, and the instructor is like, you little meaning making machines, and we were getting so triggered, we were getting pissed off. We're like, this is the last day. How are you coming at us so wrong and disrespectful? But what he was trying to support us with is, what I'm saying doesn't mean anything until you add a meaning. And the moment you add a meaning, now you're attached to who you think I am and what you think I'm saying. And once you release the meaning, you release the attachment. These are just words that are coming out of my mouth. So I love that you brought that into it because we literally put meaning to everything. I go outside of this building, someone looks at me, what you looking at? Why are they looking at me with attitude? I put a meaning to now this person is evil or mean mugging me. I'm attached to now I have to show them, don't look at me like that. I gotta let them know I'm not the one to play with. And that shit becomes the ripple of chaos, the ripple of drama, the ripple of separation, because that's where separation comes. You're there, I'm here. And we forget that we're all one. We're this big ocean. And I say that, and because it's like when you drop a drop of water into an ocean, you can't find that drop of water because it's emerged back to its natural state. And that's where we are. We forget that we are the water drops. And every thought that we have, if we don't attach to it, it just emerges back into its natural state. Nothing. But we get so attached to the drop. Oh my God, it was so big. Oh my God, it was so little. Oh my God, it was splashed me. So now we're attached to what this thing is, that now we get lost in that. So I love that you brought that into the conversation to me, because even in this healing journey, this work of expansion, I was so attached to how I was supposed to be and how I was supposed to show up as this enlightened being, that I was putting so much pressure on myself. In reality, I wasn't supposed to be anything but me. And being me is what I'm discovering on a daily basis. I'm discovering that daily, and what I'm learning is I'm none of these things. That's why I've been detached from so many labels, from my race to my sexual orientation to my gender, like, because I feel like those, and I feel like we'll do a live about this, a conversation about this. Soon as like now it's like, okay, because you call me a black male, I'm supposed to act a certain way or talk a certain way or walk a certain way or dress a certain way. Or if you call me a gay male, I'm supposed to talk a certain way or act a certain way. So it's like once I release attachment to the labels, you don't know how to define me. And when you can't define something, it's unknown. So now it startles the person who is attached to having a meaning, and that's where you shake things up.
Absolutely. And I laughed, I chuckled at your dropping off the water in the middle of the ocean and not able. I mean, that's like, I need to use that all the time.
Use it.
Like, that is so perfect, because, it took me into the future for a second. And all of it, I'm seeing all of us in energy form. We look more like aliens or ETs or whatever, and we don't know the difference between Sumi and Angelique and Remel. We just are. So if we can only just get out of our heads sometimes and fall into our hearts, we will most likely see people in their truest forms. The more we're able to do this, the more you don't, like right now for me, I most times don't even know when people are being sarcastic or silly or whatever towards me, unless somebody that's sitting by me that knows of that is like, hey, Sumi, I think this person's being mean to you. And I have to take that with a grain of salt. Like, do I want to pursue what my friend is telling me? Because when this person said this thing, I didn't feel that way. Because I don't see it, right? Because I'm already viewing you as energy, so I don't read so much meaning into things. So when other people around me are trying to, I'm like, I hear you, I understand. I actually didn't see it. I think it's fine. Just let it slide.
Because it's okay. I'm okay.
Because why? I didn't even see it, right? So this is another way of me recognizing that I'm being tested. Like, do I want to pursue that? I didn't see it. And even if I did see it, is it who I am? If she says that I'm stupid, am I assuming, are you really, come on, are you stupid? Are you sure? Like, are you going to believe that bullshit? So she or he is saying you're stupid because maybe that's how they feel about themselves. And, why are you pursuing that? It's not real. So I learned to take it easy on myself. I learned to not tie into things and just take it one day at a time. Life is beautiful. We want to have fun. We want to literally have fun in all of the chaos. And I'm talking having fun in all of these craziness that's happening. Because why? I am the world. You are the world. If I'm taking care of me and you're taking care of you and you're healing and I'm healing, we're taking care of the world. We're taking care of Gaia. We are also taking care of our environment because we're taking care of ourselves. So why, go to a concert, as Angelique was sharing, when you know you don't want to? I really don't want to go there. Like, feeling weird, and and then you go anyways, and then you get there and you feel fucked.
Can't even enjoy yourself.
Like, why did I call? Oh my God. And then that causes palpitations, that causes sweating. And I don't know what other negativities are happening in one's life before, 5 years, 10 years, people are coming down with stuff. It's like, oh, how did this happen? Well, remember that one time when you didn't listen and you went to that concert?
Listen.
That's where it started from.
We over here
You
digging
got a
up
little
old files. Remember on September the 15th, when you were at that concert, that's why, that's the reason. And I think, and I love that you bringing that into because we search for the past moments to make sense of why we presently feel how we feel. But when we're just present, there's no need to search. There's no need to search. There's no need to reference because why? What does it mean? Why are we attached to that old moment of September 15th, 7:48 p.m. at the Hollywood Bowl in LA, California?
Yeah. Wow. There's a lot of different things that are coming up for me. I'm not really sure where to start because we have like 15 minutes left.
Just let the heart speak.
Yeah, I was just say, as far as knowing when things have their season and being aware that we are like getting signals constantly. And like we're talking about like pain in the body or like somebody's throwing you shade and you just didn't catch it. And then somebody's trying to put like feeling disrespected onto you. You feel me? Having the awareness that, like we've been saying, like having the awareness of who you are in this present moment is so powerful because there may have been a time, and I'll speak for myself, but there may have been a time when I would have missed something that somebody was throwing at me, and a friend came by and like, oh, so and so was throwing shade or like saying something mean, and I would be like, oh dang, doubly beating up on myself because one, somebody said something out of pocket to me, and two, I missed it. Oh, but in this season, what I'm getting like the visual of like somebody throwing a fishing line with a hook and like getting baited, like getting baited into being angry or frustrated or confrontational when that wasn't even something that I was interested in the first place. It was just something that somebody threw out there. And now all of a sudden I'm mad at this other person creating all of these stories and these meanings. And, now I'm on this heightened sense of like looking for people to do me dirt. You feel me? But now that I'm in this space of just allowing myself to experience this love, and it's something interesting actually happened. I'll share this real fast. I was going to the hike this morning and I didn't run past, I was walking. And I was walking past Astoria. I don't know if she's still here. And it was like 5 a.m. It's dark. I got my hood on. I know I look a little shady to some people, maybe. People could put that meaning to it. But, I'm walking, I'm listening to Reverend Ike, I'm doing my affirmations, my heart's all open. And I see this person, I'm just like sitting in love. I'm just like, yeah. And then I recognize that it's her, it's somebody that I know. And I was like, oh, well, hey, girl, hey, girl, And then we ended up going to the hike. But prior to where I am now, I would have kept that meaning of walking past another person in the dark of the morning and with me with my hood on, like, oh, they're going to be looking at me some sort of type of way. And I shouldn't like even try to make eye contact with them or, engage with them in any way, shape, or form because I don't want that confrontation. I don't want nobody thinking nothing. Got my neck going on like this, looking like a bobblehead. But since I wasn't in that space, I was able to see her. since I was already sending her love, I was able to like embrace her in that moment and not have it be awkward. Like, oh, I was thinking all of these things about you. I was thinking that you were thinking these things about me because I was putting meaning to it, but because I wasn't. And it was just beautiful to be able to be a being of love and know that everything I'm walking in is love and just have something beautifully synchronistic to happen like that. Because I went a different way today. I didn't go the way I normally go, but spirit aligned us in that way and in such a beautiful energy space. So like just having that awareness is so powerful because we don't get baited, we don't get lost in meanings, we don't get lost in attachments. And we can just allow things to be released in their course. Yeah.
I love that.
And yeah, and the more we're able to do that as well, the faster it is we get to our goals.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were not so deep in your head that you most likely didn't listen to the voice that's like, no, go this path, don't go this path. You just were being you, the authentic you version of you.
Mm-hmm.
And leaving at whatever time that you were, the specific moment you left your home in order to meet that person that you're not 5 minutes behind or 5 minutes ahead.
I was 30 minutes early.
So it's the universe's way of just aligning things. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. So I've been on a celibacy journey, right, for a couple of months now. And a while back, I felt this deep sense of loneliness. I'd say more loneliness than aloneness, where at that moment of feeling that deep, something came out and it was, oh God, I just want to talk to a person. I know I've been doing so much work on myself and I get it. I totally get it. I know everything, thank you. Yet I know nothing, but I know what I'm supposed to know today.
I know nothing. Okay.
I totally get it. Okay, now that I get it, can you send me a person that I can talk to? I just want one person that gets me. I probably have this person and this person, but I need a new person. I just want to talk to someone. And I promise you guys, within 5 hours of saying this prayer, someone comes. And we had one of the most interesting, mind-blowing, amazing conversations. And that was what I needed for a recharge. It wasn't sex. It wasn't climax. It was that. Right? And we wonder, if there is God, or we wonder if there is another source that listens in, or who's, but then with all of these things that are happening around us and we being able to see them basically just helps us grow better. So being also thankful for the good things that are happening in our lives and not only praying or only noticing the bad things is one thing that I've also been doing in, shifting more into higher frequencies where I cannot even be in a low frequency anymore. It's crazy. I want to go anywhere and I'm like, okay, what's happening here? I got to get dressed. Okay. I think I feel like getting dressed. I got to put on some shoes. I got to put on perfume. I got to drive myself there. Okay. And then I get there. Who am I meeting? So I'm able to go and basically almost astral travel to these places to like survey. So the more we're able to connect deeper, we can sense things that not only do we know there might be danger, but you're able to have a sense of relaxation in your spirit that you can actually match not their frequency, but your frequency. In staying, it's kind of like building a wall around. It's so funny. One thing that happened to me, I'll share this quickly. Most recently is I was meditating And I swear to you guys, I could see myself in an egg-shaped bubble. It was crazy. I was like, holy shit. So we literally have bubbles around us, every single one of us. We got bubbles. And for some people, it's further. For some people, it's closer, depending on how, whatever it is. But when I saw that, I'm like, this is interesting. So now I'm able to use that and even see it in a bigger way, that when I'm with people, I'm able to still be in my controlled self, because that's the only thing that I can control is myself, right? So staying in my own bubble, that I'm okay, that my heart is okay. I'm checking in with my heart. Sumi, how are you feeling? Are you still okay? Are you good? Are we good in here? Yeah. So always just understanding, because our bodies always show signs and all of these things. But anyways, I feel like I derailed from our topic.
No, I was just literally thinking like, Sumi, I love when you just share, because you derail, but it's all in alignment. And you expand where we are through your awareness. So I love it. I was literally thinking, I was like, come on, Sumi. I was literally like, I was literally like, yes, girl, yeah.
Off track us.
I was like, yes. Because what it does is it just shows, because at times people don't have this awareness and they don't know what they don't know. So when we speak to what we know and where we are, that's how we're able to introduce. And that plants the seed. Whether or not they water it today or next week or next year, at least that seed is planted through our energetic exchange. So I get it, because it's our aura. I like to, like, what came through to me as you were saying, like, we're in these eggs, whether it's close or away, but it's our aura. The eggs are our aura. That's our frequency that we enter a space and you feel, you experience, and we're experiencing others in their eggs. And that's where it goes back to even the meaning. When we release meaning, we release detachment, and we just know we're just having these vibrational exchanges. Nothing more, nothing less. It's just an energetic exchange that we're having. We can allow that moment to pass, and then we go into a new moment and experience someone else's egg of energy. And that's just what we're doing. We're just children. And I like that even you spoke to like having fun and joy. Because in reality, y'all, we're just a bunch of kids
running around
playing with each other, are not playing with each other, are throwing temper tantrums, are being stingy.
Yep. And there's one thing that I was saying a few days ago with a client, or maybe a friend, I don't recall. And the conversation was, she thought this person is stupid and that person is foolish and this one's an idiot. And I looked at her and I said, what if we're all stupid? Like, have you actually just given it a thought? Just a tiny little bit of thought. Are you stupid? He's stupid. And I'm stupid. We're all stupid. Because do we really know?
We don't know.
What does that mean?
We don't know jack shit, because we make mistakes. We fall in love with the wrong people. We freaking get broke. We freaking, like, we don't know shit. I know some things, you know some things. So let's put it together, because I don't know it all. So when you see yourself as everybody, okay, this person's stupid, well, then we're all stupid. How about that? End of story. That makes everybody feel better. Like, okay, I'm not the only,
Well, because then they'll be so attached to that meaning, like, well, you stupid, I ain't stupid. I've literally in school seen someone fight because someone called them stupid. And like, you stupid, I ain't saying that. So I love that, because it just brings the silliness in it. It brings the playfulness in it. It brings the detachment into it, because what is it? It's just a word. And that word means nothing until you add meaning to it. And stupid for you can be, it's bad. And stupid for me can be like how I say hi. Hey, stupid. And it can be whatever we want it to be. So that's just where I hope that this beautiful conversation that we were grateful and blessed to have today really leads with others to have fun, honor yourself, stop digging in the past, trying to eat up that old meal that is expired and dated in the present. Don't put meaning, don't detach, don't detach, and just allow yourself to be, because we are everything, but we're nothing all in one.
And I also want to just final notes. Um, Worthiness came up, and I know we're like, what does that mean? But there's also energy signatures that things carry. So it's a vibration, you know, and how Helen shared that beautiful awareness today, and how Mel was talking about the experience that he's navigating and processing right now. That feeling of worthiness and upliftment and empowerment, um, you deserve that. We all deserve that. Just like Simi said, what if we're all stupid? What if we're all worthy? What if
Mm.
we're all divine and created with the universal power, right? Like, I just want to drop that seed, you feel me? Because that was something that was kind of threading through the conversation that I really appreciated. But we love you all
We
so
love y'all.
much.
Thank you, Somi, for always coming in.
Amazing.
Sick and all, okay? You know you love us when you experiencing what you're experiencing and you still dropping them gems. We love you for that.
I love you all. Thank you so much. Thank you for creating this space and making it available for us. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of
Truly.
course. Until we meet next week, have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.